Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Today is Tuesday, July 16, 2024. Coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. Donald Trump chooses Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his Republican running mate. How do black folks feel about him? How has he done for black folks in Ohio? We'll talk to Ohio Congresswoman Shontel Brown about this former never Trumper. President Joe Biden just finished speaking to the NAACP in Las Vegas. We'll show you what he had to say and how he made the case for voters, especially black voters, to stand with him. Also, we will talk about, of course, a bunch of the lies you heard last night at the Republican National Convention as we focus on this critical election taking place in November. It is time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin. He's real, the best, you know he's rolling Martin now. Martin.
Well, there's nothing like a Donald Trump suck-up, and it's exactly what Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is. This is a man who trashed Donald Trump in the past, but now all of a sudden is his vice presidential running mate. He is an opportunist. He's also an election denier, and we can go on and on and on. But who knows better than how he is when it comes to African Americans than Ohio Congresswoman Shontel Brown. She joins us right now on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Congresswoman, glad to have you back on the show. Here's a guy who all of a sudden is deleting all sorts of videos. In fact, I saw something earlier where he's deleted his position on abortion from his website. He's trying to sit here and gaslight us.
You got that right. Listen, I think the people of Ohio have buyer's remorse. If there's ever been a time where people have regretted their decision, I think this one is it. And so when Donald Trump decided to pick J.D. Vance, I can tell you that we've experienced their efforts as what they're putting out as Donald Trump's Project 2025. Last year, when you had me on the show, we talked about issue 1 in Ohio, which I think was really the test drive, the test case, if you will, for Project 2025. They tried to suppress, silence, and subvert the voices of the voters in August of 2023. And that was issue 1, where they tried to eliminate a simple majority and make it so that in order to change the Constitution, you would have to have a super majority, which really means that one man, one vote would no longer be the standard in Ohio. But I am proud to say that when the people of Ohio got the information, they showed up and they showed out and they voted in record number. But that wasn't enough, Roland. That wasn't enough. They attempted to do the same thing in November when they tried to roll back women's rights and make sure that they took away the women's rights to make their own healthcare decisions. I can tell you, J.D. Vance is getting ready to put a war out on women. This is the state where we had a 10-year-old who was a rape victim that had to flee the state in order to get the care that she needed, because at the time we had not passed issue 1. This is the state that also had the sister who had a miscarriage, a natural thing that happens to us. She had it in her bathroom over the toilet. She was charged with the abuse of a court. They want to criminalize women for natural things, for healthcare decisions. And this is what we can expect them to put forth as their plan as we talk about Donald Trump's Project 2025. So he is Donald Trump 2.0, an elections denier, as you pointed out, a misogynist, and definitely someone who does not respect women, in my humble opinion.
Train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. And Vance brought Donald Trump there to stand with him. Well, the folks at Status Quo interviewed a woman from there, and this is what she had to say about Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
That is chemically contaminated. You've been sick. So many of you are sick. I am obviously not going to blame everything in East Palestine on J.D. Vance, but he is a U.S. Senator, and now he could be a heartbeat away from the presidency. Am I missing something? Has he called for a criminal investigation into Norfolk Southern?
No.
Go ahead.
No, he hasn't called for one. We've been waiting. Charges need criminally charged. There are other entities along with Norfolk Southern that needs criminally charged. J.D. Vance was wonderful in the beginning with coming in, sending his assistance or help, and then all of a sudden, we don't hear from him. And we ran into one of his at the NTSB hearing, but we've never heard anything from them since. And
so what does that say, Congresswoman Brown? He brings Trumps there, uses them as a photo op, and here's the woman who said, now he's MIA.
I think that is demonstrative of what we can expect from his leadership if he were able to get his hands on the most powerful seat in the country and all of the world. And I hope that the people are listening and watching and paying attention, because they are duplicitous and diabolical. They have a lot of rhetoric, but no results. Listen, when we have two things that we can compare when it comes to the top of this tickets, and that's their records. We have a Donald Trump who had 4 years of chaos and confusion, and now we have President Biden and Vice President Harris, who really made some very powerful and historic accomplishments to get this country back on track when we had a president in office while he was taking medicine to deal with his COVID. He was telling other people to drink bleach. And on the other hand, we had President Biden and Kamala Harris who were making sure people were getting vaccinated and getting shots in the arm so we could reopen the country and get people back to work. We have the receipts for the work that we are doing, as opposed to the rhetoric and the empty promises of folks like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. We can also talk about Donald Trump, how he talked about infrastructure week over and over again when he was in office. Well, I'm proud to say on my second day in office under the Biden-Harris administration, we were able to deliver. So now we're repairing crumbling roads, bridges, airports, waterways, removing 100% of the lead pipes, which is critically important in a city like Cleveland that has been dealing with lead devastation for decades, causing irreparable harm to some of our children and making it difficult for them to learn. In that infrastructure bill, we also provide the Affordable Connectivity Program, because we knew during the pandemic that the internet was no longer a luxury, but an absolute necessity. And because of the good work of folks like Congressman Clyburn, again, President Biden, Kamala Harris, they made sure that we were going to be able to deliver into those communities that were suffering for a long time and did not have access. And that is a record we can run on. But I know people care about the vision for the future. And the good news is President Biden and Kamala Harris have a positive plan for the future that is really going to maximize the work that they've done and leverage, because there's still more work to do. We need to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. We need to deal with the George Floyd Act. There's so many things that are going to be impactful to the Black community that is on the ballot. If we don't show up, these things will be clawed back, and we can expect the future to be much darker than what it currently is if you get a Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in office as the president and the vice president of this country.
I do have to ask you this. The DNC is looking to do a virtual roll call, and part of that is because what happened in Ohio. And even though the legislature, they changed the rule, it's been back and forth between DNC Chair Jamie Harrison and Nate Silver on social media. Nate Silver, of course, is with his 538. And so Silver said, go to my iPad, he said that Harrison was trying to gaslight people based upon technicality. Ohio changed the law, and that the GOP legal case to remove the Democratic nominee from the ballot would be extremely weak. But Harrison says, look, we can't chance this because we know how these judges rule. And so Jamie is saying that the smart way is to do this to make sure that you beat the deadlines and you don't chance this thing in court. Just your thoughts on that.
I trust our chairman, and I know that as an Ohioan, we cannot trust the Republican legislature or the executive to do what's right for the rest of Ohioans, let alone the country. We saw what they did in August of 2023, really upending their own rules. They said that they would not have special elections in August, yet they did, because they thought that they could get away with suppressing, silencing, and subverting the voices of the voters by trying to pass issue 1, again, taking away that simple majority. So I cannot trust the Republicans, these extreme MAGA Republicans, I must say, to do the right thing. So I trust our chairman to do what is going to be the best course of action to ensure that we get Biden and Harris at the top of the ticket across the country.
And on that particular point, that I posted this on Twitter to Nate Silver. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? The conservatives have a majority on the state Supreme Court. I don't care. I said, first of all, you're not even a lawyer, Nate Silver. If you want to call something weak, you don't leave it to chance.
That's right.
We already saw what happened with this Trump judge in Florida on Monday. We already know what's with this right-wing Trump Supreme Court. No, you get it done. You don't go, oh, we think they're going to side with us.
That's right. And you remind me of what happened in 2016 when we talk about the vote and we talk about how people set out that election, when we had one of the most qualified candidates to ever seek the office of presidency, and by the name, her name was Secretary Hillary Clinton, who ran, who then had Trump as a candidate at that time. People were sitting at home. Some of the hemming and hawing and the waffling back and forth that I've been hearing about this 2024 election reminds me so much of 2016. And it's important that we remind people what happened during that 2016 election. We ended up with Donald Trump in the White House. And because of that, he was able to appoint not one, not two, but three right-wing activists, MAGA extreme judges who will be there for a lifetime. And they have already reversed course on precedent that had been set for decades. I will never forget June 24, 2022. That's my birthday. Worst present that I ever got was that they overturned Roe v. Wade. So they've been chipping away at our rights since he has been office. So when we say elections have consequences, you might not feel them that year that you elect that president, but you will undoubtedly feel them down the road. And so we're here. It's like deja vu. We're back. It's 2024. And I need people to remember what happened in 2016 when they failed to show up. We got those judges on the bench that are now Donald Trump's Supreme Court. They are overturning issues as it relates to affirmative action. We've got the Chevron case, and now they've given presidents immunity, making them more like kings than presidents. And that is what happens when we don't show up and vote in these critical elections. So every year for 2016, 2020, we've said that these are the most important elections because the stakes continue to get higher and higher. But I will take a page out of my sweetheart Antoine Seawright's book and remind folks that this is the most consequential election of our lifetime and that we are casting a survivor vote. This is really about our future and our freedom because it's all on the line. All you have to do is go look at Donald Trump's Project 2025. And the thing that is most concerning, they're not even hiding it, Roland Martin. They've got it right out in the open, and they are recruiting people online so that they can end and just terminate civil service positions and put in MAGA minions and Donald Trump sycophants that will do whatever they want and cave to his will, much like we see in the duplicitous, diabolical candidate called J.D. Vance as vice president.
All right, Congresswoman Chantel Brown of Ohio. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me, Roland.
Folks, going to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Coming soon to the Black Star Network.
I still have my NFL contract in my house. Having a case. It's for my 4-year contract. I got a $600,000 signing bonus. My base salary for that first year was $150,000. Matter of fact, $150,000. $150,000. That's what I made. $150,000. Now think about it. My signing bonus was a forgivable loan, supposedly. When I got traded to the Colts, they made me pay back my signing bonus to them. I had to give them their $600,000 back.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so pissed. Because, I try to be a man of my word. I'm like, you, I'll give you your money back. Even though I know